So hello friends, this is the ninth lecture in the series of the news analysis. So the first article that we are going to talk about talk here is regarding this US currency watch list. So India has been kept in the monitoring list of the US currency watch list. We will talk about this what is this currency watch list actually. But the context why particularly we are discussing here is India is one of the 11 countries in the US Treasury monitoring list with regards to their currency practices for the first time. So according to US government, there are some currency practices which are not in favorable of this US administration. So what are these currency practices? What are the reasons why India has been kept in a monitoring list? First thing, that Reserve Bank of India has made high dollar purchases in the international market, which were close to around 5% of the GDP of India. Next thing, that there is a India US trade surplus which is around $20 billion or more. So these are the two reasons that's why India has been kept. So which country is called as a currency manipulator? So India is considered as a currency manipulator here. So which country is considered as currency manipulator? So any country which is engaged in unfair currency practices, it is considered as currency manipulator country. So it may be regarding this artificially lowering the value of the currency. Why artificially lowering? So if the value is artificially lowered, it can be beneficial for that country's export, but it is considered as a currency manipulation by the US. Then that's why US government establishes or create this currency manipulator watch list. So the report has been published semi-annually. Every year it has provided 2 times, so it is provided semi-annually. And what are the criteria used by this? The criteria under this US Act, Trade Facilitation Trade Enforcement Act 2015. So the criteria used to place any country in the watch list like India has been placed. What is the criteria? That suppose there is a significant bilateral trade surplus with the US. We have already seen India has a trade surplus with the US regarding this $20 billion. The criteria also said that if there is a trade surplus of $20 billion or more in the 12-month period, that country can be kept. So India already fulfilled this criteria. Second, it is talking about the managerial current surplus is actually 2% of the GDP of the US, but this criteria is not there regarding India. And next one is that if any kind of a manipulation the country has been done, it is at least 2% of the GDP of the country. Already I have seen the RBI's currency manipulation that has been done. It is at least 5% of the GDP of India. So India already fulfilling this criteria, because here it is saying it should be at least 2%, but in India it is 5%. So India fulfilled this criteria. That's why India is in currency manipulation list or the watch list. So what will be the consequences? Actually, there are not that consequences. There are actually no penalty, there are no sanction, but any country has been placed in such kind of a watch list, definitely it harms the image of that particular country, the financial image. So that's why RBI has to be cautious next time any kind of such currency practices it exercises. Okay. Next is regarding the Central Vigilance Commission. So the question here is the office of CVC, though efficient, observes some of the significant limitations over its exercise of power. So the question is regarding what is CVC and what is the limitations on the exercise of the power. So the context here is the CVC has all the central government recently to decide on a corruption complaint against the employees within the 3 months. So within 3 months, CVC asking all its central government organization to decide on the corruption complaints. Okay. So explanation here is regarding the CVC, that CVC has been set up by Government of India in 1964 after the recommendations of Santhanam Committee, which is headed by K. Santhanam, and 2003 it has been made a statutory status has been given with that CVC Act 2003. Earlier it was not statutory. Since 2003 it is statutory. It submits report to the President of India, and it is not controlled by any ministry or department. So it is an independent body which is responsible only to the Parliament. So what are the different compositions here? So 3-member body it is. There will be a Central Vigilance Commissioner and there will be 2 more Vigilance Commissioners. So it is a 3-member body. So appointment has been done by the President of India. The appointment will be done by recommendations of the 3 panel or a 3-member collegium. Who will be the member of this 3-member collegium? The Prime Minister, who will also head the collegium, then Union Home Minister, and the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. These 3 people will be member of this collegium, who will recommend the name to President of India, and the President of India will appoint the CVC, and the term is of the 4-year or a 65 year, which will be earlier. What are the function? So the function is regarding taking the complaint with respect to any kind of a misuse of a office or any kind of a inappropriate action. So which person or which entity can approach the CVC, who can approach the CVC to file the complaint? Central government itself can approach, Lokpal can approach, whistleblower can approach. Whistleblower, any person who is working in any organization but who wants to disclose the data with regards to any wrongdoing, that person is considered as whistleblower. That person can also approach, but it is not an investigation agency. Okay, it cannot do investigation. It only asks the CBI or the chief vigilance officer to have investigation. It does not have any kind of a investigation power. So under which act it takes the power? It takes the power under Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. With respect to what are the provisions under this, with respect to that, it exercises its powers. So actually the body is under CVC Act 2003, but this particular act, Prevention of Corruption Act 1998, helps this CVC, okay, to take action regarding the against the corrupt person. Okay, and what are the limitations of the CVC? The limitation that it is a powerless agency actually, because it isn't just an advisory body. It even cannot register the criminal case also. For that also it is just depend on the CBI. And though it is considered as relatively independent body, but which actually lacks the resources also, which lacks the powers also. Okay, that's why this is actually not that independent. These are the limitations of the CVC. Next point that we are going to discuss, it is regarding the Manas platform. So what is this Manas platform? That also we will see. But here the question here is Manas app launched by PMSTI-AC. We will see what is this PMSTI-AC, and it is related to that we will see in the explanation. So actual answer is B here. It is a well-being platform to augment the mental well-being of the Indian citizen. So it is regarding the mental well-being of the Indian citizen that we will see in detail regarding the Manas. So Manas app is to promote the mental well-being. So the acronym, it is an acronym to a particular initiative. The initiative name is Mental Health and Normalcy Augmentation System. With that, the Manas is a short form, okay, regarding this. So what is this? It is to provide a mental well-being to the Indian citizen. So who started it? The Office of Principal Scientific Advisor to the Prime Minister has started this, okay, and this is endorsed by the National Program of Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation Advisory Council. So it is the Principal Scientific Advisor, actually this person has controls this or heads this, coordinates this Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation and Advisory Council, and it integrates all the health and wellness efforts of the government of India and its different ministry regarding to the mental health of the person. So what is this PMSTIC? I already told, is the Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation Advisory Council. So what are its function? To assess the status of science and technology domains, what is going on in India, comprehend the challenges regarding the science, then formulate the specific intervention, then develop a futuristic map regarding the science, and advise the Prime Minister with respect to any kind of a scientific activity. Okay, and it provides support to that Office of Principal Scientific Advisor with respect to any kind of a monitoring or with respect to any kind of a project management. Next is regarding the Mission Karma Yogi that we will talk about. So Mission Karma Yogi, the question with respect to that, it is given here that Mission Karma Yogi is an important step for making the civil servant role based, and we have to elaborate it. So the context is why particularly we are discussing this, because Union Minister of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions has already informed about the Mission Karma Yogi to press with detailed information. So explanation is that Mission Karma Yogi, it is established under this National Program for Civil Service Capacity Building. Okay, so it has to make the future ready civil service. That means any kind of a challenges that will come into the future, the civil servant has to be ready for that, with respect to not just their skill but with respect to right attitude also. So it talks about the better behavior of the civil servant also. So it is just like having a comprehensive post-recruitment reforms like that of a pre-recruitment reform the government has started with respect to National Recruitment Agency. That is a pre-recruitment reform, and this Mission Karma Yogi is actually a post-recruitment reforms after the recruitments. So what are the major undertakings under the scheme? That it will cover around 46 lakh central government employees. 510 crore will be spent in the 5 years for that. The actual objective is to make transform the bureaucracy from rule based to role based. Then it will also talk about the functional and the behavioral competence that I already told. Functional and behavioral competence it is talking about. Then there will be a platform that will be established to provide training. It will be called as IGOT, I Got Karma Yogi platform. This is a digital platform. So what are the apex bodies which are established under Mission Karma Yogi? The Prime Minister Public Human Resource Council, it will be set as the apex body to give the direction. So it is headed by the Prime Minister only. There will be one more body which is called as Capacity Building Commission, and which will provide the standards, training standards, that which standards has to be followed to provide training to these 46 lakh central government employees. And next one will be a special purpose vehicle, a non for profit special purpose vehicle. It will be government owned only, and its responsibility will be to own and operate the digital platform. I already told you the name of the digital platform. It is the I Got Karma Yogi platform. This is the digital platform which will be controlled by this non for profit government owned special purpose vehicle. Okay, if you like this video, please subscribe the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Thank you so much.